and I'd love to invite some of you. It's just amazing to see not just how many, but to just feel for me how we, as a microcosm of about 500 people, are Europe. We're here in this room, in Sofia, in Bulgaria. In bringing us to our program, I just wanted to create a bridge of where we were in March, because I've already bumped into quite a few of you who said, yes, I remember you from March, and of course I can't remember everybody, because there's so many of you. If you remember in March in Brussels, because this is an extraordinary year that you have 2 AGMs, we welcomed new edicts, and there were quite a few of you that were new. And we really looked at 3 core things through our conversations. We looked at the role of edicts and how it's expanding and changing. We identified issues. And I remember as a facilitator, I was thinking we're absolutely crazy to try and cluster the outcome of 500 people's conversations. But we clustered them into about 12 issues, and I want to remind you of 2 or 3. One was, we need to engage citizens in the European elections differently. We need to be able to talk about the future and make it relevant to their lives. We need to match their local needs and have conversations that are relevant to them, not give them jargon. We need to use technology to reach them, especially some that are really yet to be reached or hard to reach. And then finally, and there were many more, but this is just one another, was to see the crisis, what we are economically, socially, environmentally going through, as a way of an invitation for people to be part of the change. And we also came up with ideas for the European election. So this brings us to our time here for the 2 days. We have built our program on 3 core elements. On Greek, we like our pillars and our columns, right? So 3 core columns that we have built our program on. 1 is inspiration. 2nd is information. And thirdly, it's conversation. Inspiration, information, and conversation create a formula which equals inventiveness and innovation, newness. So that's why we've built it on those 3 things. And they form the pillars of participation. Being active in different ways. Sometimes people think that listening is not active. It's one of the most active forms of participation, and I'm sure you do it every day in your jobs. So you will be receiving inspiration and information, but I want to invite you to listen with both your left brains and your right brains. To listen to what is ordered and logical and you like. And I want you to listen with your right brain of the newness, the inventiveness, the creativity, the innovation, and sometimes what might provoke or even disturb you. Because when we put those things together, that's why our brain has 2 hemispheres, we can think more broadly. What we're going to be really doing is working with both listening to the needs and the necessities, and we're going to also be connecting, practicing, relating, exchanging knowledge. In Greek, we have the word pareia. So we're going to be both listening to needs and having some fun and relating together. How does this translate into our program? We have already received inspiration from Ilva Tivis, who welcomed us yesterday, from Ivan Krastev last night, who really provoked our thinking and really brought into the room, hey, we're all here for integration, let's talk about disintegration. And what's the fine line between optimism and kind of complacency? And this morning we have been beautifully welcomed and inspired by Jean-Pierre Wallenstein. They have set the scene for us. They have given us context. They have spoken truly to us that we are living changing times. And I don't think anyone here would dispute that. So our program is going to continue by receiving inspiration and information from Stephen Lehner on the next multinational framework. It's a multi-annual, framework, which is an important topic, something that concerns all of us. And I'm sure many of you have come to listen and to ask questions. So he's not just going to speak to us, we will be able to be in conversation and ask him some questions and answers. That will lead us to a break. We will give you some coffee and a break and let you out of the room. And after the break, we will come back to listen to a wonderful panel of inspiring speakers who I think will provoke our thinking around the social challenges for Europe, and where we again will be able to be in conversation with them. And Rick will be moderating, I will be on the floor, and we can take questions and answers from you. We really want you to be ready to ask questions and make comments. This afternoon, we are going to be really working with information. We have some wonderful colleagues from the European Commission, the European Parliament, and the Economic and Social Committee, who are here to offer information and to take information from you. So we will be working in breakout rooms, and we'll be giving you more information on that. There'll be 3 sessions. You'll be able to collect information on many different topics that you can take back to your local edicts. And finally today we will come into conversation just to say what inspired us, what provoked us, what disturbed us, what's bubbling inside us, and we'll hear some of that. And the day will be closed by Ilva, and we will then celebrate Bulgarian style, hosted by our local hosts, the representation office, with some Bulgarian food, music, and dancing. So I hope you guys have your dancing shoes. We're in the Balkans, we dance. So that's our day today. It's full, it's busy, and really welcoming you it. Tomorrow, we are going to continue to work with informing, inspiring, and conversation. But we will really focus our morning after an address by Stephen Clark on the European elections. We will continue with working with a process where you will set the agenda. How many of you were at Malta? Can I just see by a hand? Okay, great. So that you guys are veterans of this way of working. This is going to be a way where we will actually create the agenda around what do we want to explore to move our work forward. Some of those issues that we brought up in March, we can keep bringing them forward. Some of those challenges, some of those opportunities, some of those ideas, we're going to give you the space to create that together. And this is really going to be the time when I'm inviting you to collect the inspiration and the information and your conversations to invent and innovate. Finally, tomorrow we will check out of our time together by translating what we've learned into some next steps. This isn't to put pressure that we have to have action, but I always feel that when you come together and then you move away and do nothing different, wasn't it a bit of a waste of time? So isn't it important that we take something in our lovely new bags that will actually be able to be practiced back at home with others in the office and with our citizens? And of course, Ilva will close our time together with some closing remarks and bring things together. So finally, this is really an invitation for you to participate throughout the conference. Falling asleep is not allowed. I'm joking, okay? So we will participate right through, and I really, really want to say it again, get inspired, become informed, and innovate together. Let's have some fun. Thank you.